What is going on, grinders? You're in the fantasy bar with the chief, not Beer Makers fan today, filling in for him. We're going to still try and bring the heat. Speaking of Beer Makers fan, get on over to scoresandodds.com/beer and make sure to get that discount on Scores and Odds Premium. All right, first up on the docket tonight, we have Reggie Jackson, 5,400 on DK. This man is going to be huge for us. When it comes to Reggie Jackson, he's got the best point guard matchup on the board. They have the #1 DVA ranking. The Lakers have been getting destroyed by point guards all season. Love Reggie Jackson here at 5,400. Listen, this man is taking about 15 shots per game, has a 27% usage on the season with no Paul George and no Kawhi Leonard. Love Reggie Jackson here. Thinks he takes the Lakers to school as long as the matchup stays close. All right, next up on the docket, we've got Davion Mitchell at 4,800 on DK. So when it comes to Davion Mitchell, the minutes are up with Fox out. The shot attempts are up and the production is up. If you look at what he's been able to accomplish over the past few games, it's almost an automatic 30 fantasy point performance. This is what we want out of guys that are 4,800. Just need Fox to sit out another game, and I think we'll ride the Davion Mitchell wave yet again, expecting them to not necessarily keep this game close, but to get handled here. And I think Davion Mitchell gets his run no matter what the scenario. Love him here at 4,800. Think he's going to be in a big spot, give us good production on today's slate. All right, next up, we've got Gary Trent at 6,100. This man has been hot, one of the hottest scorers in the league over the past 5 games. So when it comes to Gary Trent, one of the things that I love that's happening with him, 20 plus shots a game in the past 5 games, 30 plus points in the last 5 games. And guess what, folks? He's playing huge minutes, 35 minutes, 38 minutes. They played an overtime game. He played 56 minutes. Gary Trent is on the floor. The opportunities are there, and it should be a competitive matchup with the Chicago Bulls. I love what Trent is doing. I think the price is fair. We get 40 fantasy points out of him again, and we're feeling really good about our daily investment. All right, next up, we've got Javonte Green at 3,700 coming in as a cheapie on DK. Now, with Javonte Green, he's got low usage, but he's averaging 0.84 fantasy points per minute. Once again, this should be a competitive matchup with the Toronto Raptors, and he gives us great value, so we're able to pay up in a few spots and get ready for, you know what it is, that beast of the night that's coming soon. Love Javonte Green here. I think he can get to at least 20 fantasy points with upside for 25 to 26, 27, 28. I think that's perfect on a slate where we will need a little bit of salary relief. All right, next up, we've got Jerami Grant, 6,500. Tasty matchup against Minnesota. Just getting back, sign me up. So when it comes to Jerami Grant, one of the things I like, Cade Cunningham is currently questionable, and with a 28% usage rate without Cade Cunningham there on the season, I love what I think the production will be against a Minnesota team that's like Swiss cheese on defense. This is an up-tempo matchup, and not only that, Jerami Grant should have increased free throw opportunities. You said, Chief, what do you mean free throw opportunities? Jerami Grant's a guy that takes 4 or 5 a game. This could get up in the 5 to 8 range, which could increase the fantasy production by 3 to 5 fantasy points, as Minnesota gives up the most free throw attempts in the league. I think Jerami Grant has a big night here at 6,500. Think we can pencil him in for 40 to 50 fantasy points. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know what time it is. It's time for the beast of the night. Don't forget that Beast of the Night contest. If you can guess how many fantasy points on DraftKings that the Beast of the Night gets, the person that's the closest gets a free week of RG Premium. Can't express how good of a deal this is. Guess the fantasy points. Get the free week of RG Premium. Continue to crush in daily fantasy sports. Beast of the Night, Anthony Davis, 9,800 on DraftKings. When it comes to Anthony Davis, no LeBron James, playing against the Clippers, this should be a feast for him, a feast for the beast. 29.9% usage without LeBron, 1.44 fantasy points per minute, and the Clippers are 24th in total rebounding. Last 3 games for AD, 31 points, 27 points, 30 points. I think AD goes to town here. I'm thinking 60 plus fantasy points, already giving you a hint on where we should be headed for the contest. Love Anthony Davis as the beast of the night. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us here in the Daily Fantasy Bar. Thanks, Beer, for allowing me to fill in for you. We'll see you again for more NBA action on tap.
Hey, thanks for checking out our videos. If you want more expert advice on DraftKings, FanDuel, or any other daily fantasy sports, make sure you check out the current videos playlist.